Since starting my minimalist journey in pursuit of a slower life, I've made a lot of changes. Through simplifying my home schedule and habits, there have been a lot of pieces that just naturally no longer fit, and others that I've chosen to remove. The individual impact of these changes has mostly been small, contributing to a large shift in my overall mental health, happiness, and quality of life. Today, I want to talk to you about one of the biggest, most impactful changes I've made through this process, which I really didn't expect to have such an effect on me, and that is quitting my morning routine. Listen, I am a productivity girl. I love learning about the science of behavior change, how to optimize your life, and I've spent so much time over the last few years specifically dedicated to figuring out how to start my day off right. But morning routines have always been something that I've really struggled with. For years, I was stuck in this cycle where I'd start off feeling really inspired, often after watching a YouTube video or an Instagram reel. I would set a routine, and for a few days, it was genuinely great. But then something would throw me off. My schedule would change, or I'd wake up really tired one morning and just want to stay an extra 20 minutes in bed. A lot of the time, my hormones shifted, although I didn't realize that's what was happening. Somehow, I got thrown out of the rhythm, and trying to get back into it felt like a vertical uphill battle. All of the things that morning routines are supposed to do for you: generate motivation, help you feel ready for the day, create a sense of accomplishment. I never felt those from the same routine for longer than a couple of weeks at the most. But I really believed that this was the best option for starting your day off right. And so rather than helping me get motivated, it felt like I was constantly starting my day with failure. I would go back to the drawing board, convinced that I just needed to find the right combination of habits to create the perfect morning routine, and this cycle would start over. And then this fall, I just stopped. When I started exploring simple living, it was really important to me to figure out what rhythms in my life were actually adding value to it. So for a month, I just gave myself permission to scrap any habits, routines, or goals that really didn't feel good, just to see what I missed. During this time, I was really focused on how something made me feel on a soul level. Let's just see what happens if, to the best of my ability, I give myself what I really feel like I need in a given moment. And everything changed. Now, I have always been a morning person. I actually really don't like sleeping in. I'd like to just be up and part of the world. But over the last few years, I really lost sight of the joy of that. One of my big takeaways since quitting my morning routine has been how much the pace of my mornings really carries through into the rest of the day. When I started out stressed, I usually stayed that way too. But when I start out grounded, that seems to last through my day as well. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that slowing down just this portion of my day has truly been the catalyst for almost all of the changes I made. Rather than waking up feeling like I immediately have a checklist I need to accomplish, I have a chance to breathe, to assess how I'm feeling and doing, and then give myself what I need to enter into that day from a healthy, stable place. My focus and priority now is really just, how do I start my day from a place of peace? And everything I do in my mornings is kind of attached to that baseline. Now, what I need on a given day may change. I do want to share a few things that I have found really instrumental in helping me start my day peacefully. This is not a routine. These are not things that I hold myself to. I have not committed to this. These are genuinely just habits that I know from experience always leave me feeling better. The first thing that I do to start my day on a good note is I usually get right out of bed. I have always found that kind of laying in bed in that in-between where you have to get up but you really don't want to get up just creates so much angst and kind of resentment before I've even gotten out of bed for the day. I've just find that getting right up and moving around after my alarm helps me be so much more present and awake and excited for the day. The second thing I did already mention, and that is that I don't have a checklist. This is really the heartbeat behind quitting my morning routine. I give myself the flexibility and freedom to spend the first couple hours of my day doing what I really feel like my soul needs. I don't go on my phone right away. For the last couple of months, I've been charging my phone outside of the bedroom. We use an alarm clock to wake us up in the morning, and it has just been so helpful. Temptation to scroll is always going to be there if my phone is right next to me. But even just by charging it outside, I'm not able to access it until I am fully out of bed and have moved around a bit. And by that point, I'm usually awake enough to know this isn't going to make me feel great first thing in the morning. Last but not least, I wake up earlier than I need to. And the only reason that I'm able to have so much flexibility in the mornings is because I've built in a huge buffer for myself. I do work from home, but I start work by 9 every morning. Usually I'm at my desk by around 8:30 and I wake up at 6. And I find that those 2.5 hours is plenty of time for me to get dressed and ready for the day, have breakfast, drink my coffee, spend some time with my husband, chat about our days, as well as listen to a podcast, read for a little while, tidy up our house if it needs it. Even if I don't do any of the extra things, knowing that I have enough time to do them gives me such a sense of peace and relief. That built-in margin is a lifesaver. I do want to acknowledge that the season of life that I'm in makes that a very realistic possibility for me. I don't have kids, I go to bed really early, and so I can afford that time in the morning. I know that's not everyone's season in life. Ultimately, I quit my morning routine because I was trying so hard to fit myself into a box that I just don't think was made for me. And I've been finding that when I just lean into who I am as a person, things go so much better. I have so loved these last few months of slow, sacred, peaceful mornings. And ironically, since letting go of all my expectations and just allowing myself to exist, I've actually found myself choosing the habits that I was previously trying to force. Healthy rhythms and routines are important, but the way I'm adding them into my life is looking different than a lot of what I've seen on social media and what I expected it to look like. Now, I'm not advocating against morning routines. If you have something that works for you that adds structure and peace and joy to your life, please don't let me talk you out of it. Quitting my morning routine has allowed me to show up healthier, happier, and much more present in my life. It's also been a good reminder of how much autonomy I have. I don't want to oversimplify the effort that it takes to make lasting, permanent change in your life. I am a big believer, both in theory and from personal experience, that you can choose to show up as a different person tomorrow than you were yesterday. I've radically changed my life in the course of 3 months, and I'm actually gonna do a whole video, I think, on that specifically, like how I hard reset my life with slow living. But I can tell you, even just from this experience, things can change quickly. Learning new things and unlearning old things is messy, and confronting unhealthy thought patterns and habits that you have in your life is hard work, but it's so worth it. I think I'm going off on a tangent a little bit, so I'm gonna end this video here, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. I'm really so grateful for each and every one of you. It means the world to me that this is resonating with you guys and that you are enjoying this content. And if you're not subscribed and you are interested in hearing more about minimalism, simple living, slow living, and productivity, but make it sustainable and fun, definitely make sure to click the subscribe button. I really hope this video was valuable. If it was, definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up and please leave a comment below. It so helps my channel and it means the absolute world to me. I hope you have a good day, because today is a good day to have a good day. And that's it. Bye.